All right. Looks like we are live. Yes, and maybe not live for those of you who are tuning in uh, later on, because I'm going to be keeping this video on the channel. And of course, maybe this is being listened to on the podcast, because I plan on putting this in the podcast as well. By the way, if you don't listen to the podcast, I think you should. It's called How to Talk to Girls. It's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's on SoundCloud, and it's on Spotify. I feel like every 6 months we syndicate it to a new distribution channel. So yes, hello everybody. Hey, what's up? Hello, Kevin, Skip, Ian, Anthony. Yes, hopefully there'll be a lot of people watching because we got a good live today talking about a big secret that all women are keeping from you. And I'm not kidding. I don't even think this is an exaggeration. 99.999% of women are keeping the secret from you. And you're going to like some of the material that we'll be discussing on today's video. So yes, hello everybody. Hello, what's up people who I've seen before? Adam Workersham. Adam, what? You come every live. Have we talked on the phone? Have you signed up for coaching yet? You got to do it. That's why you see down there it says coachedbytripp.com. That's a URL that you can go to apply for coaching. That's right. Coaching is basically you and I getting on a phone call every week and me personally helping you. So if you're looking for personal attention, personal help, getting you to the point where you are getting successful with women because you have a customized plan, encouragement, motivation, and the right techniques, if this is something that speaks to you, I know a lot of you last week, you ended up applying and we've been already talking. Maybe you're here today. But if this is something that speaks to you and you feel like you can get help from it, then I want you to apply. Go to coachedbytripp.com and apply today, and we can get you help. Again, this is not a group coaching program at this stage. This is just me one-on-one helping you. And I've been doing this for a long time, but I don't think a lot of people know that it exists. And even though I talk about it on my podcast, I talk about it on a few YouTube videos, it is on my website, I like announcing it big and bold here on these lives so guys realize that there is help available. So we can do that for you. Just looking at the chat right now. Cool. So yeah, go to coachedbytripp.com if you are looking for any sort of coaching and need help in that area. And of course, I'll be announcing this a few times throughout because people are joining us here and they're in and out of the chat. So cool. What's up, everybody? What's up, Lloyd? What's up, Leroy? Benji? Cool. All right, let's go into some material. Here's basically how tonight's going to work. We're doing something a little bit different here. Okay? A lot of you guys have questions. There's always a lot of people here. Right now, there's 96 of you. That ends up fluctuating, but goes up. Now it's 100. There's a lot of people here who are always asking questions. I can't get to every question. So here's what we'll do. Do a super chat, and I will answer your question. So you can see there's a super chat right in the chat box that you have on your screen. So do a super chat, and I'll answer your question. I'll kind of let those pile up throughout the course of this live, and then I'll get to every single one of them. I will make sure I get to every single one of those questions and answer them in detail, and I'll try to get to some other questions. It's just tough because a lot of you have so many questions. So do the super chat, and we'll answer your questions. Let them just load up. We'll get to them all, but first let's go over the material, and then I'll get to the questions after that. Sound good? Sound like a plan? Let's do it. Okay. So today we're talking about every girl has this secret. She has this secret, and here's what it is. The secret that every girl is keeping from you is that she likes you. Now let me be very clear here. Don't jump away just yet, okay? No, not every girl likes you, but every girl that has ever liked a guy, in the very beginning of the interaction of the courtship process, she keeps that information from you. She keeps the information from you. She doesn't want to let you know that she likes you. She might do it in some subtle ways, one of the biggest being that she agrees to go on a date with you or accepts your physical advances, right? Some of these things are fairly obvious. However, she's not outright telling you. She's keeping it inside. She's keeping it a secret. A lot of guys get really pissed off about that, by the way. I think it's really funny. A lot of guys get so mad about that. They're like, I don't get it. Like, why are girls doing this? Why do they got to play games? Here's the thing. Women are not playing games. Again, there's a few of you jumping in right now, okay? So if you have any questions, hit the super chat and I'll answer your questions. But right now we're talking about the big secret. The secret, again, being that she likes you. She is not trying to overtly give you that information. As you probably already know, right? It's not like you go out and girls are approaching guys. It doesn't happen. Why doesn't it happen? Why is she so keen on not letting you know that she's interested in you? Why do a lot of women play this hard to get game? Mainly because it's not in their DNA. Of course, there's exceptions. I know that women still do approach men from time to time. Like it happens. But what's the deal here? Why aren't women doing that? Like I said, it's not in their DNA. And that's because this is never something that they really had to do, okay? Over the course of thousands of years, it was the men who made that initiation. This is a lot of theory, by the way, of course. This is evolutionary theory, okay? So, there's theory that men were the ones who had to approach. Those are the ones that really made the effort there. And the woman's job, and we're talking like caveman times, was to help raise the children. They got pregnant. So they had to bear the children, and they had to take care of the children while men went out and hunted and took care of that business. And so the men were the more dominant and assertive ones in terms of this dynamic between man and woman, so they were the ones who had to do that. So it's not really in a woman's DNA to be dominant and assertive. Those aren't feminine qualities. The feminine quality is to receive, and the male quality is to assert. And if we're looking at this in more kind of physical terms, it's that way in sex too, right? The woman receives, and you are the one who is giving, right? In terms of penis and vagina. So understand here, again, a lot of people coming in here, they want to know what the secret is. The secret that women are keeping from you is that they're not being overt at the fact that they like you. Of course, again, not every woman likes you. It's those women that are interested in you. They're not telling you. They're not being so like I said, overt, assertive. So it's not necessarily that they're playing games, or maybe it's like they are, but they don't even know it. Okay? They don't even know it. And guys, I know there's a lot of you here, so if you have any questions, don't forget you can do a super chat and ask the questions, and I'll get to those questions towards the end of some of this material that we're going over. Okay? So again, they are not trying to tell you. There's another reason for this as well. The other reason is because it is harmful for women in society to be called or looked at as easy or as a slut. It's one of the worst things a girl can be viewed as in many eyes, but we're really talking about her eyes. Like, the last thing a woman ever wants to be is a slut. And by slut, I just mean, that's the term that it's a derogatory term that you would call a woman when she's slept with a lot of people. And so that's a term that's widely used. People call women sluts. They even call men sluts when they sleep around with a lot of people, as if they're dirty. So that's very harmful. It's kind of like calling a guy a pussy, or a weakling, right? It's like that hits the male core pretty hard. Like no guy wants to be called a pussy or weak or anything like that. For a woman, on the other end, in a similar tone, they don't want to be called or looked at as a slut. This is one of the worst things, and it makes them shunned from society. And of course, as humans, no one wants to be judged because we want to be part of society. It's in our DNA to be part of society. We are not creatures that survive alone. We are mammals. We want to be around people. It helps us be able to connect with others for means, for resources, for things like that. So we want to be with other people, meaning, again, breaking this down hardcore. So that means that we need to be around people, which means that we don't want to be judged or looked at badly by other people. And one way that happens for women is being called a slut. So what does this have to do, again, with this secret that she's keeping her from you? Well, if she's so overt in her actions, if she's very aggressive, very assertive with men, in front of you, in front of her friends, she potentially might be called a slut. Now, she's not thinking this on a conscious level. Okay? This is all subconscious. This is all subconscious. She's not thinking this literally in her head like, oh yeah, I don't want to be overt with that guy. I don't want to ask him out. I don't want to approach him because then my friends are going to call me a slut. She's not thinking that. Again, this is like embedded deep into her primal wiring in her brain to know that if she's too aggressive, that, again, she might be deemed as a slut, a whore, something like that. And that's not what she wants, and it's not really in her DNA to do that either. Again, feminine receives masculine inserts or asserts. Hope this is making sense so far. Okay? Kind of mind-blowing, right? Seems like you guys are digging this in the chat here. How do I know this? Well, this is a combination of material that I've learned through books, through experiences, through talking to women. I'm a dating coach, so of course I love talking about this stuff. I talk to women and people about this stuff all the time, really understanding, really learning. And a lot of guys get this wrong. They think, like, why do we have to do all the work? It's not a matter of who's doing the work and who's not doing the work. It's not, women aren't lazy. Maybe some are, but women aren't inherently lazy. It's not like they have put themselves on this pedestal, like, I'm the woman, he should come talk to me. She might be thinking that, but that's because she's waiting to sense the masculine, because the feminine inside of her is attracted to the masculine. Just like you might see her and go, wow, she's beautiful, and for all the reasons why she's beautiful are her feminine qualities. This is why you're even going over and talking to her, because you're seeing these feminine qualities, whatever that is. It could be something like long hair, big breasts, big butt, those normal things that you might be attracted to, those feminine qualities. And so you go, oh, I want to talk to her. That girl's pretty. I want to go talk to her. And then she goes, I'm going to wait and see which men are going to talk to me so I can see which ones hold the masculine qualities such as fearless, courageous, assertiveness, dominance. Again, all subconscious. You'll never get a woman ever telling you this. No one knows this stuff because no one thinks about it, no one studies it. But now you know it because I'm relaying it to you, and I do study this, and I do know this. And this is why it all works. There's usually a reason for most things that happen. By the way, if you're just watching now and you have a question, don't be afraid to ask it in the chat. I will get to the super chats if you go ahead and do that, and I'll get to it in a bit here. But I'm still going over this material. I'm letting you kind of absorb this. For some people, even myself included, this was seriously mind-blowing for me. Incredibly mind-blowing to learn some of this stuff. like it's like, oh, it all made sense now, right? So again, the secret is she's not going to be telling you that she likes you. She's not going to walk across the room and go and talk to you. She's going to keep this all to herself. And she'll start dripping it out little by little. Maybe when you're talking to her, she'll touch you. When you go over and approach her. By the way, let me be clear here. I'm mainly talking about cold approaches. I'm not talking about online dating. I'm not talking about a girl that you've known for like 3 years. I'm talking about, really some of this cold approach, initial interaction stuff. If you're like hung up on this woman and you've been friend zoned, you might be thinking, oh, Tripp just said that, well, she's not going to be assertive with me. So she likes me. I think she does because we're friends. That's not necessarily the case. That's the exception to the rule. Is like you're already in the friend zone with her. So she's not keeping any secret. She just doesn't like you. But how will you find out if she has the secret? I will tell you how. You are going to assert yourself in the situation. You're going to flirt with her. You're going to ask her out. You're going to be more sexual with her. And see if she's picking up on this. Right? It's like you flirt with her, you ask her out. Is she interested? Most guys won't do that, though. You probably won't do that because you're too scared of the rejection. Now, speaking of rejection, some guys think, oh, I bet you a woman won't approach and won't, won't assert herself and ask me out is because she's afraid of rejection. Now, here's the thing. This is actually true. A lot of women are afraid of rejection. Okay? And this is what they're going to say to you. And it's true. You ever ask a woman, like, why don't you approach a guy? She'll give a various amount of answers. If you really take, like, a poll of this, a lot of women, if they're being brutally honest with you, is like, I don't want to get rejected. I don't want to do that. Here's the thing. It's in her DNA also to be more scared of rejection than you. Because what happens when a woman goes and gets rejected? That hits so much harder because she only has, basically it's harder for her to get rejected because there's more at stake for her, right? There's more at stake. It's like, she only has one shot at this, to mate and have children. Again, primal stuff we're talking about here. This is not overt. I'm not saying women go out to the bars and whoever to just like have children. Of course, that might be the end goal. But primally, they want to have children. So if they get rejected, that's like, because they can only get impregnated, every 9 months. There's only so many options for them. So they need to pick really, really carefully. A guy, there's nothing to lose here. We can impregnate almost an unlimited amount of women as long as our sperm is fertile. So we can just get rejected all day long. It's not really that big of a deal. Again, talking about primally. So it's not as big of a deal for the guys to get rejected. It's more of a big deal for a woman to get rejected because she's kind of looking for that like one specific person to mate with to carry that child for 9 months. Like she's got to be almost pickier in a sense. We don't have to be as picky in that sense. Again, talking about kind of like evolutionary theory here. Cool. I see a super chat came in. So more that come in, I will be answering those questions and digging into that. Okay, so go ahead and do a super chat and I'll answer your questions. Just my way of being able to get to people because I know a lot come in here. Okay, so trying to think if there's any kind of recap here I can think of. I know there's a lot of you here just joining us, but and also a lot of you who are watching this after the fact. But basically, the woman is only going to be showing so much interest, so much affection, so much of that in the very beginning. Now, people might be saying, well, I don't get it. Like, I've dealt with girls who are very needy in the past. I've been dating them or been in a relationship with them, and they've been super needy. They're texting me all the time, all that. Well, that's different. That's a different situation because now they have you. And when they have you, they would like to keep you. By the way, if you don't know, that's one of the biggest questions for a woman. So, you're looking up dating advice online. That's probably how you found Tripp advice. And you're asking a bunch of questions. One of the most popular questions for a woman, if you're interested, one of the most popular questions for a woman is how to get a man to not pull away. That seems to be the biggest problem that women face. Is like once they get a man, how do they keep him? And then for a man, his biggest problem is how do I initially get her attracted to me? That's like the bigger pain point for a lot of men. How do I get her initially attracted? And so it's kind of different here, right? It's like women, as we've been discussing here, they don't have as much of a problem getting approached. So it's initial attraction for a woman is not as big of a deal. Typically, if a woman were to go out and just tap a guy on the shoulder and say, hey, you want to go have sex? 9 times out of 10, the man would go, okay. Initially, it's not so hard, but it's how do I keep the man around for long enough to want to raise the children and be in this relationship? How do I make that happen? Right? So something to think about there. Man, big lessons today, huh? Big lessons. Okay. So if anyone's going to spam the chat like NASDAQ, we're just going to kick you out. So let's put you in a timeout to begin with. But I'm interested in all your comments and all your questions. I want to hear from everyone. I'm not going to ban you, and I'm not going to delete you if you have an opinion on something. All opinions are welcome. But when you're just being a dick and spamming the chat, that's not cool. Okay. All right, so I can go to questions here in just a second. Anyone who does a super chat will be already immediately knocked up to the queue, and I will answer your question faster and make sure I give you all of my detailed help. So we'll do that. There's a bunch of you here today. What mic am I using? This is the Yeti. Does it sound good? I feel like I'm coming in real clear here. So if you have any questions, go ahead and do the super chat. I'll answer those first, get to other questions next. And if you don't already know, because hopefully you've been joining me on these lives the past couple months. Yes, I'll be doing another one next week. No, by the way, we're not done. You don't have to go anywhere. This is not even close to over. But this is just an announcement that if you're interested in getting coaching from me personally, if you want help getting to the next level in your dating life, the next levels, meaning maybe you're stuck having mad approach anxiety and you can't go up and talk to a girl. Maybe approach anxiety isn't so much of an issue for you and you're just having trouble getting women attracted to you or continuing conversation. I will help you and give you customized techniques for you to get results in your life. So if you need help with that and you want it fast, like you want results fast, coaching is the way to go. So you can apply at coachedbytripp.com. I go through all the applications. I read through thoroughly. If you give me a good application, I will reach out to you. In fact, most guys lately have been texting. So get a text message from me and we'll chat and see if it's a good fit for you. Okay? No. Okay, so people are confused about the chat, the super chat. The super chat is the $sign down there. That will get you up in the queue. So I'll be able to answer those questions first and foremost and then go to other questions after the fact. And if you're doing a super chat, please be as specific as possible in your questions so I can answer it as best as possible. Okay? Cool. So just to sum it all up, again, women, they will drip sounds funny. It will kind of drip out and kind of lightly show you that they're interested. Again, in conversation, they might touch you. They might throw you a compliment. They'll agree to meet up with you, but they don't want to give you all of their, yes, I'm interested, so fast. It's not in their DNA to be easy or slutty, so to speak. And that's not thinking that you would. Guys might be like, I'm not going to think a girl's a slut if she asks me out. Like, that's so, like, I don't get it. But again, you have to understand here, this is not happening on a conscious level. It is subconscious. So all this wrapped up together, she's going to reduce her chances of getting rejected. She's going to just kind of stand back and let the man be more assertive so she can feel his masculine presence and give a chance to be attracted to him. And also just understand that, again, it's not in her nature to do this, to be as assertive. Make sense? I think so. Cool. All right, let's do some questions. I'm ready to help you out. If you do a super chat with that little money sign, we'll knock you up. Tripp will knock you up to the top of the queue and answer your question. Just like Skullhead Oliva said, there's this girl who talks to me sexual or in love at times, but other times she doesn't want to talk. Only when she is in the mood. How do I fix this? Well, it sounds like you're letting her really dictate the interaction, which we're talking about here is not the masculine way. The masculine way is to be dominant. Dominant people lead the interaction. So it sounds like there's this girl that's showing that she's interested, but then she's like, no, I don't want to talk. So she wants to talk sometimes, then doesn't want to talk. So you're just kind of letting her lead and dictate everything, and you're not the one taking any action here. So how do you fix this? First of all, ignore this whole idea of her coming to you and talking to you. I want you to be the one to just be assertive in this interaction. Flirt with her, ask her out, talk to her in a sexual way, maybe like she's doing with you, or at least reciprocate, or just at the end of the day, move the interaction forward. So if she's talking to you sexually and you guys are all alone, why don't you just go for a kiss? Again, I don't have a lot of the details here, so this is potentially out of context, but why don't you just try that? That's how I would fix this. Skullhead Oliva. Don't wait for her. You make the move. Any other super chats? Skullhead Oliva, why don't you respond and let me know if there's any other details you want to go over so this makes sense. Okay? But thank you for the super chat. Very cool. And any more people who decide to do that will get bumped up in the queue. Tripp will knock you up. What are the questions we got here? Thanks, Lured. Appreciate that. What choosing signals would my older coworker send me to know she's attracted? The only choosing signals you should ever really know are ones that would not happen in the workplace because it's too hard. It's too sensitive in the workplace to try to get any kind of clear indication. So choosing signals would be, you'd have to really, coast to coast. Yeah, I remember you from last time. You'd have to get her out in a non-work environment. Okay, this is the key here. Get her out in a non-working environment and then see if she's flirting with you and she's making advanced moves. Okay. Ryan G. Okay, I'll let some other super chats come in while I talk to some people here. Ryan G says, Tripp, congrats on 800K. What's the plan for 1 mil? What's the plan for 1 million? Well, there's no plan. I'm just going to keep on putting out content, helping you guys, and we'll get to 1 million eventually. The thing is I've already technically at 1 million because people have unsubscribed. I'm sure there's a few of you who are unsubscribing right now because you're just not digging this information. It's not vibing with you. And some of you who are on the train here, you get what I'm saying. You're connecting with this. It's working for you. What else we got? Can't get super chat. Just that little $sign that says show support for TripAdvise. What other questions you guys got? Hit me with it. And again, you do a super chat, we'll dive in deep. I'll get you all the details you need as long as you give me some good details. Malice Havoc said, do you have advice for guys? I don't know if you're in the right place here. Yes? That's what this is. Yeah, I mean, technically I've been at 1 million subscribers. It's just, there's been people who have unsubscribed. Every time you put out a video, people unsubscribe from you. Because not everyone likes the information that you have to give. But they're just in the wrong place, my friends. Skullhead Oliva, you said, she tells me she is interested, but when I try to take it to the next step, she doesn't want to. Am I rushing? Also, at times now when I text her, she leaves me seen through text and just doesn't reply anymore. So she's been playing games with you. She never was really interested. If a girl tells you she's interested, but you try to take it to the next step, she's just playing games with you. Skullhead, how old are you? Are you under 20 years old? If you are, a lot of women are very immature at those age and just play games and aren't really, play games to the point where they're just lying to you. Okay? No woman who's interested will hesitate to stop you from taking the next step. At the very least, the next step being a date or hanging out together. Or a kiss, you know what I mean? I'm talking about little things here. We don't even have to go all the way to the point of sex because it's different for everyone. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So let's go to the next super chat. Someone said cold approach socializing versus dating apps. Steve Wandry. What's up, Steve? Thanks for this super chat. Boy, do I got an answer for you. Because I get this question a lot. I don't think I've ever done a YouTube video on it. I think I talk about it a little bit on the podcast. Cold approach socializing versus dating apps. Here's the deal. If I were you, I would focus. Oh, we got a little. Let's fix that. If I were you, I would focus solely on cold approaching and maybe 10% dating apps. Here's the reason. Dating apps, they are so I have so much in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to get this all out. Okay. First of all, they're saturated. There's so many people in dating apps that it's going to take an amazing profile to stand out from the millions of people who are using dating apps. So it could potentially be a big waste of your time. Can you get results in dating apps? Yeah, of course you can. But it's, to me, a lot more work where you're not getting much out of it. Or maybe you get a date every once in a while. Now, for you guys who are using dating apps and maybe crack the code and it is working for you, maybe you're this really handsome looking guy and you have this amazing profile so women are drawn to it, then it's working, then by all means. I'm not saying that women are just looking for looks. The whole idea here behind what I teach at TripAdvise is that's mostly your personality. But that they don't have your personality to judge off of dating apps. I mean, maybe a little bit, but mostly they don't. Mostly all they have is a picture of you. So, if you're just like a decent looking guy, you don't know how to optimize your dating app, it's not working, you're not going to get results. But even so, you should still do 90% cold approaching, because the idea here is you got to get better at this skill of being in front of a woman. Because eventually, the dating apps lead you to where? In front of the woman. It's the bottom line. You are eventually going to be in front of her. You eventually need to learn how to create attraction on a date. And so you can either do that once in a while with the once in a while dates that you get off of dating apps, or you can do that all the time, because you can practice that all the time, because you can go and approach a woman whenever you want. Now, you might not get a date with all those women. You might not get a number from all those girls. You might not end up getting an instant date with some of those girls. But at the very least, you're going to get the practice to getting better at socializing. You're going to be building up a stronger version of yourself, because you're going to be becoming more fearless and courageous with people, because you're going out there and doing one of the hardest things a guy can do, in my opinion, which is going out and talking to a girl from a cold approach that you're attracted to. A cold approach, by the way, if you guys don't know what that is going up cold to a woman. Cold meaning you don't know her. There's no connection between you two. She's not someone from work or school. You don't know her at all. She's not being introduced to you by someone. It's a cold approach. And you do this at bars, sidewalks, clubs, coffee shops, wherever. So I hope that answers your question. If that is your question, cold approach socializing versus dating apps. Cold approach socializing is the best way to become a stronger, fearless person. So I would focus on that as much as you can, and dating apps the least. If you have any questions, hit the super chat. Steve, hit me up here. Any follow-up questions? Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? What do you got for me? Got someone else spamming the chat. We're going to put you in a timeout. Because you're spamming the chat, this is my chat spamming song. Spamming chat song. Adam says, Tripp, do you take callers on your podcast, or why don't you take calls live anymore? I only did live when I was on Dudes Talking About Chicks. Steve, thumbs up. Cool. Glad that helped. Yeah, I don't have the podcast capabilities to do live anymore. So that's why I do these, to answer your questions here. So why are there so many people saying the word schmuck? I'm just gonna get you out of here. Some people are so nice, and some people are not. We are still on the Tripp Advice Hour here, Wednesday night, every 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Almost every Wednesday. We just started doing this again. I'm here to help you, giving you some good advice on some specific topics and answering your questions. This week we're doing super chat questions, so if you have a question, I can go into severe detail and answer your question with a super chat. And I'll try to get to more. You're right, Leeward. They shouldn't be spamming the chat. A lot of you are here. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, you see a URL down below. It says coachbytripp.com. Coachbytripp.com takes you to an application page to apply for coaching. If you're interested in doing coaching with myself, then I will help you and we'll get you coaching. How do we do that? Well, you go to the URL, you apply. And if you fill out a good application, I sift through all of them. I peruse them, and I will reach out to you personally. We'll get on a call, and we'll see if coaching is a good fit for you. I think there's one person just coming in here and just doing a lot of spamming of the chat. So yes. What are the questions you got for me? Someone said it's 2:15 Thursday morning. Yeah, people are all over the world watching this, getting their questions answered on the Tripp Advice show, the 7:30 p.m. Central Wednesday night live show. Yeah, I don't know what's with the spamming today. Does coaching cost money? Yes, coaching is not free. That is what has built Tripp Advice. So yes, it does. There is a fee for coaching. Someone said, I want to buy a super chat and ask a question, but I only get 150 characters. Better make it really concise. 150 characters should do it. And if you want, don't worry, just do the super chat. And then if you want to add more details in, I'll look out for your name in the chat and I'll answer your question. So don't worry, do the 150 characters, do as much as you can, and then I'll answer more. But remember, I'm going to go into detail for the guys who do that. Okay, Clay, you're going to get kicked out too. I love kicking out people. We don't need those people here. Should I ask a girl to be my girlfriend after 2 days of meeting her? No. You should not. Why would you want a girl to be your girlfriend after 2 days? You have no idea who she is. Desperate. Can't be that desperate. And don't you tell me she's amazing. Because you have no idea. No one knows after 2 days. Any other questions you got, I'm here to answer them. Especially if you do the super chat, which we'll do detailed answers for. What about a girl who I met as a friend but I haven't spoken to in a while? What about it? And you want to change the vibes. Well, you better start flirting with her if you want to change the vibes. Flirting is the key. Flirting is what builds sexual tension. Sexual tension is what creates attraction. Talk about this all in my coaching program. I also talk about it in Magnetic, my book. Who has Magnetic? Say yes if you have Magnetic. If an ex cheats on you and suddenly texts you after 1.5 years, what does that mean? Depends what they're texting. Depends what they're texting. What other questions you guys got? Skullhead, you said making a girlfriend after 2 days ruined a year of my life. Don't do it. Also, always get to know who you're talking to before you date them. Agree. Yes. By the way, if you do a super chat, I will be looking up your name and definitely talking to you more throughout the chat. JMS does have Magnetic. Nate Brown doesn't have Magnetic. Hello from Mexico. Cool. Adam Wickersham, I've seen you so much. You've been here for a while. And since you've been here for a while, really would love the chance to be able to coach you, buddy. Would really love the chance to be able to do that. Because it seems like if you're still here, there's some issues you're still trying to deal with. So if you need some help, apply. That's right, Adam. I'm calling you out, buddy. You've been watching my lives for like 2 years. All right, we got a super chat from Colton. Colton, what's up, buddy? I've been talking to a girl for a few months now. We've said that we aren't seeing anyone else, but she doesn't make effort to hang. Only I do. It's confusing. Interesting. This seems to be a very common case here today. Well, I guess it does because we are talking about people showing interest in each other. So he says, I've been talking to a girl for a few months. Now we've said we aren't seeing anyone else, but she doesn't make effort to hang. Only I do. It's confusing. Here's the thing. This kind of goes back to what I've been saying too about this secret. Okay, Colton? So women are not, it's not as much in their DNA to be as assertive, especially if their whole life they've been getting men who have been assertive and approaching them and doing all of the initial interaction kind of stuff. So if, again, I need some more details. I know it only gets you 150 characters. So Colton, if you want to give me some more information, we can help you out. But what does it mean you're seeing you guys have been talking? Are you having sex? Are you hanging? Are you dating? What's going on? And here's the thing. If you're making the effort to hang, but she reciprocates and says, well, not reciprocating in the sense where she's also asking you to hang, but she's saying yes, that's great. That's good. That's all you need. You know, like that's all that really matters. Of course, if you get into a relationship and she's never putting any effort in, that's a different story. But in the very beginning, at least for the first 3 to 6 months, it's going to be you doing most of that. But is it that hard? It's not. You're just asking a girl to hang out. So it shouldn't be a big deal. Colton, let me know if that helps. If you have any follow-up questions, I will look for you in the chat here and answer your questions. But let me know if that answers your question. It just shouldn't be a big deal. Okay? So, good question, though. Leeward's going to get magnetic soon. Awesome. You can get magnetic on Amazon, by the way, if you guys are interested. Nate Brown, what's up, my man? Of course I know Nate Brown. How you doing? You still work at Jewel or Panera? I go there and I don't see you. Nate lives by, or I don't know where you live, but you work right across from where I live. Colton says, yes, we were intimate a few times and we hung out a ton, but only because I made the plans. Great, so you're in a good place. Colton, that's great. You have nothing to worry about. Keep on being the one to ask her out and make the plans. If she's saying yes, she's interested. That's the thing, guys. Don't wait for a woman. This is the big thing. Don't wait for the woman to be assertive to give you this idea that she's interested in you. You know she's interested in you if she is willing to meet up with you, be sexual with you. That's it. Does that make sense? I think it does. Coast to Soul, I already answered your question. I'll stay on a little bit longer if you guys have some more questions for me. We can hit you up on the super chat, that little $sign below the chat. I'll answer some other questions too if you got something good for me. From Morocco, how can I get magnetic? You can get that on Amazon. Good question. You can get that, or you can get more intense coaching by applying at coachedbytripp.com. So, hey Tripp, I don't want to spam, but if a girl is offering things to you, is that a signal? Offering things like what? Offering things like giving you stuff? It could be. But again, you don't know if she's interested unless you flirt with her, make advances, ask her out. Okay? We got another super chat question. I've been watching your videos since I was in high school and I'm 21. I also live in Chicago. Will you ever do another even? I want to meet you. He probably meant meetup. I might be doing a meetup. It's not in the books right now, but I might. So yeah, Where in Chicago do you live, Skullhead? Where are you at? Thank you for being part of the community for so long. Don't worry, Coast to Soul. Nate Brown, I quit both of those jobs. Nate! Good for you, man. What are you doing now? That's awesome. So if a girl gives you food and gifts, is that a choosing signal? Again, don't look at that like a choosing signal. That girl could be easily a friend. So, Colton says, yes, it makes sense. I just don't know the balance of being too much and not enough. Too much of what? Of asking her out too much? You want to see her like once a week is fine. Once a week is fine. So as long as she's accepting your advances, then you're good to go. I live in Berwyn. I once talked to you on the phone for advice, and I texted you in Facebook. Cool, man. If you're interested in coaching, Skullhead, go to coachbytripp.com. We can help you out. Levi said there's women asking for coaching on dating. That's a thing? Yes, they do. They do ask. Because they are, girls who are very attractive, who get approached all the time. It's not like they're meeting good guys necessarily. They might be meeting shitty guys, so they're trying to learn how to, find the right guys. Cameron said, what do you think of girls who say, I'll let you know? Which means probably, if you're asking them out. Coast to Soul and everyone else, you do not need to put caps lock on to get my attention. Okay? Yeah, if a girl says, I'll let you know, that means that they're not interested. Yes, I've been cheated on. And what did I do? I released them. They are no longer part of my life. You say goodbye. Thanks, Kelston. What other questions you guys got? Super chat available for you. If you want a very specific, detailed answer, I can help you out. And I'll be looking out for you in the chat as well. No, I didn't do any revenge on the cheating. It's a waste of your time. That's an ego thing. You should just move on. It's a waste of your time. You want to know the best revenge? If anyone ever does something like that to you, is you ignore them. They know that you don't care about them anymore. That hits them the most. True. If you try to get revenge, it shows that you care. But when you show you don't care, that's where it stings. How important are first impressions? I think I messed up really bad talking to this girl. Is there a way to make it up? Yeah, you can make it up. Nate Brown, I'm freelancing with digital marketing now, working really hard to get more clients. Awesome, Nate. Cool. All right, guys, I think it's time's up. Thank you for joining. Again, unless there's any more super chats coming my way to answer your questions. Then I think that's pretty much it for now. Girl broke up with me in February. She keeps reaching out, hot and cold, angry, holding on to the bad and blames. We met last Saturday. She showed up in defense mode. It fell apart quick. Tips? Yeah, here's a tip. Girl breaks up with you. You release her. Release. What does it mean when a girl that you hooked up with invites you to her art opening? Probably a good sign. Colton said, yeah, I ask her probably once a week to hang. She always seems to be busy, though, so then it goes into hanging out every 2 weeks. I would just hope there'd be more of a want for her to hang with me. I get you, Colton. Makes sense. Then hang out with her every 2 weeks, practice abundance mindset, and date other women. Why do you have to go for just her? So reach out to her now every 3 weeks to show her that you are not as interested, and don't be texting her all the time. Let her chase a little bit. So Colton, let her chase a little bit. Don't just be texting her all the time and trying to. Of course, you'll be the one still asking her to hang out, but don't be showing too much attention. Take it back a little bit. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you. Don't forget, if you need coaching, and Colton, this might be for you. Adam Wickersham, this might be for you. Coast to Soul, this might be for you. Coaching could help you out. Go to coachbytripp.com, apply today, and we will see if you're a good fit. We get on the phone every single week for an hour. I coach you through an entire system that's customized to you to be able to get to the next level in your dating life where you're meeting and attracting and sleeping with beautiful women and getting a girlfriend if that's what you're looking for. So apply today. We'll help you do that. There's some other cool perks and bonuses. And if you apply and we get on the phone, you're going to find out what those are. They're pretty cool, and they help out a lot of guys. Bone Havoc, let go of her forever. Practice abundance. We at the Tripp Advice community practice abundance. We don't just pine over one girl who doesn't want us. We move on. There are so many women out there. I don't care where you live. They're there. Even if you're in school, they're there. So, hope you learned something today. Thanks again for joining us on the Tripp Advice Live Wednesday night hour. Next week, I'll be here, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So mark your calendars. We're doing it again next week. You guys rock. So many people today. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Talk to you next week.